Still on the Cold War between the DPP and the DCI since they took up office, Noordin Haji and George Kinoti showed themselves to be a dynamic duo. No office holder too high or connected for them to probe and prosecute on suspicion of graft.
So what is it about the Kenya Ports Authority case that has them on opposing sides? NTV's Olive Burrows examines the intrigues.
The public was on Tuesday treated to what could very well have passed for an episode of popular 90s court drama Vioja Mahakamani. Simmering tensions between crime fighters Noordin Haji and George Kinoti bubbling over and resulting in a public display of disaffection, as the man who came between them stood by and watched the drama play out. But what is it about this man, Daniel Manduku, and the award of a tender to construct peripheral cargo storage facilities at the Kenya Ports Authority Inland Container Depot that made the Director of Criminal Investigations, George Kinoti, so bold as to try and force the hand of the Director of Public Prosecutions? And if the raring to go DCI is to be believed, the DPP reticent despite being in possession of the case file since November last year. It could be on account of the Russian doll nature of the case. You open up one doll to find another hidden within its shell, and then another, and another, and another. So it is with the companies involved in the tender. The Daily Nation reporting on the 9th of January 2020 that the complex web will make it harder to know the real individuals who have directly and indirectly benefited from the scandal. The two companies at the heart of the suspected scandal being Mitchell Quartz Kenya Limited and Nairobi Inland Cargo Terminal. The Daily unmasking members of at least 4 prominent Kenyan families as the shareholders: the Moi family, the Ndegwas, the Nyachais, and the Saitoti family. It's worth taking note that Baringo Senator Gideon Moi has sued the Daily Nation, denying that he owns any part of Mitchell Quartz Kenya Limited. The companies suspected of winning the tender despite not being among the 30 that bid, and the heavyweights behind the companies suspected of artificially manipulating the system to create a shortage that led to the need for facilities to store an additional 6,000 20-foot equivalent units of containers. The ICD requiring the additional storage after the Kenya Ports Authority with Manduku at the helm and the Kenya Revenue Authority with Kevin Safari as a Commissioner for Customs and Border Control declared that all inland cargo would be cleared in Nairobi, having been transported on the standard gauge railway. All of which worked out to the benefit of a few prominent members of society, it's suspected. Those reportedly registered as shareholders in the companies with shares in the two firms include billionaire banker James Philip Maina Ndegwa, who's a chairman of NIC Bank, which recently merged with the Commercial Bank of Africa, a bank associated with the first family, the Kenyattas. Margaret Wanjiko Saitoti is also listed as a shareholder in First Chartered Securities Limited, also chaired by Ndegwa, and through which they are linked to Mitchell Quartz Kenya Limited. Other prominent persons listed as shareholders in the two companies which profited from congestion at the ICD are Moi's former finance minister Simeon Nyachai and Joshua Kulei, who also served the late President Moi in the capacity of personal secretary. Question is, will this prove to be the corruption case that cuts too close to home?
Tunajua vile mnapanga huko, slow down huko, sijui nini, ati ndio mizigo iingie. Anyway, tunaelewa. Tutasoma sisi tu kwa magazeti. Fulani ndio huyo tena ameenda, huyo siku nyingine fulani ndio huyo ameenda. Hakuna pahali ile mtu alikuwa anapiga simu, mambo yamekwenda, ni noma, nisaidie.
Olive Burrows, NTV.
Zilizimwa.